Hello my friends and welcome back. I am sure you waited for this Monday looking at all that's going on in Ukraine and in Iran and in Russia and in Israel. Today's video is going to be absolutely insane, so make sure you have your popcorn ready because such things as you will hear today coming out of Iran and Russia, you will not hear again. Of course, we begin with one of the biggest Russian military bloggers, Fighterbomber. They have a Telegram channel and he's known for sometimes spitting the truth about Russian failures. Well, in this time, he spits the truth about Israel's attack on Iran. You know why it's connected to Fighterbomber and Russia? Because almost all of Iranian air defense systems, air defense capabilities came from Russia. And Russia still uses these air defenses. So they are Russian air defenses right now versus F-35s. This is one of the only instances when you can put these head to toe, as you can say. Fighterbomber, I'll read it to you. If this is not a lie, then the war can be considered over with Israel winning on points, even without a ground operation. That is, Israel controls the capital from the air and can destroy any target within the city. The word fighters here should not be misleading. Considering the distance to Tehran from the nearest Israeli airfield, this is space level. Even Fighterbomber says this is space level. This means that somewhere over Iraq there are refueling aircraft and Israeli attack aircraft are hanging in the sky for 5 to 6 hours in a row, replacing each other. And yes, this means that Iran's air defense is destroyed. I think he meant Russian air defense because all of these are S-300s and Pantsir-S. Most of Iranian air defense are Pantsir and S-300s and they're all decimated, they're gone. So yeah, Russian air defense is destroyed. If not completely, then by 90%. Now this comes from, as I said, Fighterbomber Telegram channel. And a little bit of a juicy humor for you here. Russian air defense saves the life of 36% of Iranian top commanders. The Western and NATO rumor that Russian military hardware is useless is not true. Only 64% of top leaders were eliminated during the first day. So you can look at the chart here also, Iranian commanders in military sphere and nuclear sphere all eliminated, but 34% survived because of Russian air defense, or not. Just to illustrate this point even more, here is another photo of Soleimani, the leader of Iran, appointing one by one new leaders to the military and one by one Israelis boinking them out of existence, as they do. We'll go through all of the videos and all of the information today. It's gonna be a juicy video, my friends. Go and get your popcorn. My friends, today I would like to introduce you to #1 news comparison site in the whole world, Ground News. And I chose a very specific piece of news which is absolutely massive because 1st of June was the date where Ukrainian drones destroyed 1/3 of Russian nuclear-capable Tu-95's fleet. And I have this piece of news right here. Zelensky says audacious strikes on Russian air bases will go in history books. Where did I find it? Will you go to Ground News homepage? I clicked for you, and here I have 2 topics chosen for me specifically, Ukraine and Ukraine war, and it gets all these topic news for me right in front, so it's easy to find it. Now Ground News lays out right in front of your eyes different charts on the right here. We begin with the coverage details. Total news sources right now is 17, but it's gonna be a lot bigger, believe me. 44% leaning right, which brings us to the bias distribution chart, which is next. 33% leaning left, and it's all nicely and beautifully visualized for you, so it's easy to understand. Below that, we have the factuality chart, which says if it's mixed factuality, low or high factuality. This specific one is 56% high factuality, and nothing below that is worth my time. And of course, below that, you get the ownership tab, because every owner has their own agenda. Is it owned by a person, a media conglomerate? Is it owned by an organization? They all have their own ideas to push. Right, and here you get all the articles with different titles, different wordings in the headline. For example, lean right, Check out this title. Zelensky hails brilliant drone strikes on Russian airfields. And also they give you the ownership with a special little color right here. They give you the factuality. For example, this one is mixed, so I'm not going to click on it. I'm not going to devote my time to this one. Has to be high factuality. Politically, it has to be in the center, and then I'll read it. By the way, my friends, for a limited time, you can get the very same plan I am using, but for half the price. Just go to ground.news/Artur or scan the QR code on the screen to get their unlimited access Vantage plan for just $5 a month. Or you can gift it to someone you know and have more informed conversations. Call out one-sided narratives and think critically about the stories shaping our world. I can only promote brands I vet, so I think you will find Ground News as valuable as I do. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. So what exactly happened and why? In Iran, on 12th of June, Israel started, I'm gonna be honest with you, a full-scale war against Iran, and Iran started a full-scale war after that against Israel. This is no operation, this is no limited special kind of strike, this is a full-scale everything. All Air Force of Israel is deployed over Iran. Just to illustrate this even more, the furthest target they struck is distance of 2,300 kilometers. Israel attacked Iranian tanker plane at Mossad airport. This is the longest range strike on Iran. So this illustrates how much of a air dominance Israel actually has achieved over Iran, which means destruction of anti-air defense capabilities and Iranian Air Force, which was, what, Tomcats, I think? They had the F4Es. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Now we also have first satellite images of what Israel actually struck. The main targets were, of course, Iranian uranium enrichment facilities. Now that's a mouthful for me as a foreigner. Uranium enrichment facilities. First set of satellite images are now online, revealing damage at Iran's Natanz nuclear enrichment facility struck during Israel's Operation Rising Lion. That's the name of the operation. I mean, that's straight out of Lannister's playbook, Rising Lion, like from Game of Thrones. Anyway, that is a real photo, real satellite image. You can see that the facilities have been attacked with pinpoint accuracy, but you can be sure that there is something on the ground also, because in Iran, they always build massive storages underground, massive sites. They share videos about them. Here's another building destroyed and another one. But what I want to actually show you is that underground facility, because Israel knew it was there. The Israel Defense Force has released a graphic showing the uranium enrichment site located beneath the Natanz nuclear facility. Now you just saw the above ground hits. Now let's go underground, because that's what the Israelis are after, and they have developed over the last 2 decades, they have developed these bunker buster bombs, or bombs that go through several feet of ground or concrete before exploding. This is what they're using, right? The jets, first of all, fly to Iran, 1,500 kilometers. And Natanz area, this is the very site you just saw. This site is suitable for military level enrichment. And they struck very knowingly these underground facilities where the uranium enriched is being held, stored. Look at that. There are massive facilities underground here, and you need very specific bombs, very specific capabilities to penetrate the ground, which is of course reinforced, I'm pretty sure, and to go into these underground hangars here to destroy it. So Israel deployed these bunker buster bombs, as you would call them. Alright, my friends, but I want to give you an overview of how this actually happened, since Mossad didn't do this in one day. It's much like Ukrainian spiderweb operation that attacked the nuclear bombers of Russia. Mossad spent months smuggling parts for 100 and plus drones into Iran. Yes, my friends, it was not just Israeli Air Force. Before the Air Force, Mossad agents on the ground destroyed Iranian air defense capabilities. Check it out. Hidden in suitcases and trucks to disable air defense from within. When the attack began, Israeli teams used the drones to destroy radars and cripple air defenses. Then jets struck targets deep in Tehran. Israeli sabotage teams targeted missile transport trucks, not just launchers. And they get even more genius here, since in Iran there's massive amounts of missiles, that's all they do, but not that amount of missile carrier trucks. And that's what Mossad struck. Iran had far more missiles than vehicles. By destroying dozens of trucks, Mossad stalled Iran's ability to launch a coordinated response. And we know that because we have seen Iran's response to Israel, which is about 10 times smaller than anybody expected. Everybody, including Israel, were expecting thousands of missiles. But by now, in 6 waves of retaliatory strikes, we have seen about 500 to 600, not thousands. So Israel was effective in targeting these launchers. We'll watch videos later also. Israel trained drone unit leaders in third countries. These leaders entered Iran separately and coordinated local teams who had cached weapons and drone parts. They operated independently until the strike order came. Mossad used civilian shipping networks and unwitting business partners to move drone components into Iran. Once inside, agents reassembled them near pre-selected targets. Teams had mapped out logistics months in advance. So this is a little bit like Ukrainian Operation Spiderweb, and SBU and GUR have been compared to Mossad a lot because they right now, I would say, are in the top 5 world intelligence agencies, if not top 3. But I want to show you some videos also, and we're watching plenty of videos in this video, so you have your popcorn ready, right? It says last night, but June the 12th is what is meant here. Israeli statements indicated that Mossad was working on the ground inside Iran while the Israeli Air Force was striking nuclear facilities and leadership. Turns out they were. And in this video you can see Mossad agents assembled drones, and they're ready to release these drones, launch them. And here we can already see the drone footage. These are of course fixed wing kamikaze drones, not rotor drones, and they search the target, connect into it, and the magic happens. You know what happens then. And these are missile launchers and air defense launchers which are completely helpless against this kind of attack. So they eliminated Iran's ability to hurt Israel and the Air Force before they sent in the jets. I mean, this is beautiful. I'm enjoying this. It's making my week already. What Mossad also used, very similarly to Operation Spiderweb from Ukraine, was a civilian truck. This specific truck was abandoned in Tehran after being used to launch drones targeting sensitive sites in the capital. Iranian forces only discovered these trucks after they have launched their drones already and the trucks have been abandoned. All they can do, it's pretty much shock and awe. They can be in awe of the shock that just happened. But it gets even worse, my friends. You would think, how can this get any worse? But it can. Turns out, Israel built a 3-story drone assembling facility or factory in Tehran, in the capital of Iran. Mossad agents were putting these drones together right under the nose of the Iranian regime, much like Ukrainian Spiderweb operation, which had 5 trucks in Chelyabinsk, only 10 kilometers from the FSB headquarters, then drove out across Russia. This is very much the same. The resemblance is striking almost with the Rising Lion, which is this operation on the Spiderweb. And it gets even worse, my friends. This video is like a Topshop commercial almost, because after the attack on June the 12th, on June the 13th, cars of Iranian top nuclear scientists started exploding all over the city. All over the city, different explosions. You can hear them in this video, but it's, I don't know, it's pretty eerie. But Mossad, next to all of this, they still had manpower and capabilities to plant explosive devices on the nuclear scientists' cars. Of course, the top cream of the crop scientists, they eliminated with airstrikes, but the lesser important ones, they just targeted the cars. which is insane. They decapitated the entire Iranian nuclear program with 1 to 2 days. 48 hours, my friends. And next to that, here is a sabotaged water pipe in central Tehran, which now leaks massive amounts of sewage water onto the streets. I have a lot of questions about this. So, what's the outcome of all this carnage and damage that they have done? Well, my friends, it is a total air dominance. 3 days before from today, it has been in western Iran. But by the time you're watching this video, Israel has a total air dominance over Iran, all of Iran. So that means their Iranian-Russian air defense is mostly destroyed or unable to shoot down Iranian F-35s and F-16s and F-15s that they're using. And what's the outcome of this air dominance? Well, for example, footage from the site of Israeli airstrike on the Hamadan province of western Iran earlier today shows the destruction of several trucks which appear to have been carrying ballistic missiles. The trucks actually transported Erector launchers, appearing to have been disguised as ordinary cargo trucks. So these are civilian trucks, cargo trucks that have these missile launchers inside. But even then, Israel was able to detect them, just civilian trucks from the air, that these are the missile-carrying trucks, and they destroyed them. I don't know how they found out. Just to illustrate even more how much of an air dominance and how much Israel is using that, here is a video they released of Tehran. This is Israeli drones making surveillance on Tehran, searching for targets to destroy, and they identify them with ease. As soon as they identify them, they will destroy them, then they will fly around more. They have eyes everywhere. They don't need satellites, nothing. They just have drones up in the air, and they have always fighter jets up in the air, taking turns circulating over Tehran and over Iranian western areas right now. As soon as something pops out, they are sending glide bombs away. So these targets are all destroyed already. But they released these videos to show us how much they see. To me, it seems everything above ground, sometimes even below ground, as we could see before. Israeli Air Force released another video of destroying Iranian missile launchers seconds before they started to launch. See, all these launchers have missiles on top of them. Look, they have missiles on top. Bam, done, knocked out cold. Sleeping with the fishes. Another missile, sleeping with the fishes. We have another one. We have another one. And I looked through these videos. Some of these videos are Iranian decoys. They're not all real missiles. Some of them are real. Some of them are decoys. About half and half. But Israel just in case destroyed all of them. I'm pretty sure they knew which one that were decoys or not. But just for the fact of the video, I guess they destroyed all of them. I'm sure, my friends, you might have a question, or if you're watching from America, you already know. How did Trump react to all of this? Well, Trump sanctioned or allowed this Israeli attack to happen. On his own words, he knew this was going to happen. But aftermath, he acts like a kindergarten who is not let into play, not let into the group. And I'll read you his tweet or truth or whatever you call it. And it's really not words of a grown man, especially an old man who's supposed to have life experience. Iran and Israel should make a deal. And will make a deal, just like I got India and Pakistan to make. In that case, by using trade with the United States to bring reason, cohesion and sanity into the talks with the two excellent leaders who were able to quickly make a decision to stop. Also during my first term, Serbia and Kosovo were doing so. He's yapping about how much he's given and done, but I'll just read you the end. Likewise, we will have peace soon between Israel and Iran. I mean, they just started. There's no peace in sight, definitely not. Not with Russia and Ukraine and not with Israel and Iran. I don't know where Trump gets the audacity to think that he has some kind of an effect over this. He doesn't. Israel, like Ukraine, is fighting for the survival, because if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, they will use it against Israel. So Israel is fighting for survival. So Trump has right now no say to force them to peace. I do a lot. I never get credit for anything, but that's okay. The people will understand. Make the Middle East great again. I mean, I'm gonna say it. Trump is a lunatic. He's not connected to reality and he's completely off he's crazy, he's loopy. I don't think he's fit to rule any kind of country right now, especially the United States. You know, yesterday Trump did have his birthday, and he's very proud for the fact that President Putin called him. And you know what's funny? Because a few days ago, yesterday was 15th, then Friday I think was the 12th when Israel started their attacks against Iran. Just before that, Russia and Iran signed 20 years strategic and military security agreement deal, you know, that they're supposed to protect each other if something happens. Now Israel strikes Iran. Russia's supposed to do something. So Putin calls Trump. And Trump posts this. President Putin called me this morning to very nicely wish me a happy birthday, but to more importantly, talk about Iran, a country he knows very well. We talked at length. Much less time was spent talking about Russia and Ukraine. But that will be for next week. Next week and next week and next week. Trump is giving weeks and weeks and weeks. He's doing the planned prisoner swaps. Large numbers of prisoners are being exchanged immediately from both sides. The call lasted approximately 1 hour. He feels, as I do, that war in Israel and Iran should end, to which I explained his war should end also. Oh, how lovely these two kindergarteners are meeting and explaining each other what they want to do, and they never do it. The thing is, Russia promised to protect Iran for the next 20 years. Where is their fulfillment of this promise now? It shows how weak their promises are and how little they can actually contribute, because they cannot even contribute to their own war in Ukraine enough. They need Iranian drones, which Iran now cannot send anymore because they're at war with Israel. My friends, there is so much more to talk, but before we go on, I want to guide your attention to 8 missions in Ukraine, the project I have been working on for the last 1.5 years. I kept it a secret because I wanted to present you a full finished book, and here it is. Don't let this opportunity go to waste, because this was made for you. Go and get it for you and your friends to open up everybody's eyes about what's going on in Ukraine. This is for you, my friends. Links in the description below. So, this happened on January 19th, 2025. Russia and Iran officially signed 20-year strategic partnership agreement that guarantees the security of the two countries. Now, if Russia cannot affect Israel's strike on Iran in any way, or Israel in any way, that proves their guarantees to be totally empty. And that proves their military assistance potential to be totally empty. Which it is, of course, but now it proves it to the world. Alright, my friends, now we get to just some very cool videos, because you don't get to see every day American THAAD system. THAAD is like this American anti-ballistic missile air defense system that is able to intercept enemies' ballistic missiles outside of Earth's atmosphere, and they always produce incredible footage. Look at this. Exo-atmospheric interceptions, my friends. This is what it looks like, and it's quite cool, like a Hollywood movie. There, of course, the missiles are really expensive, really expensive, but they can intercept missiles outside of Earth's atmosphere, and it's also a deterrent for Russia, because they want to send exo-atmospheric ballistic missiles to US or to Europe. This capability just exists. Remember, Russians. But I want to watch some more interception videos, because they are amazing. These are all Iranian ballistic missiles raining down on Israel. And if you look at this, boom, boom, these flashing lights, small ones that are going on in this video, one by one now, any moment, boom, boom, boom. See, these explosions happen a little bit before the ground. A big portion, some of them go through, of course, but a big portion is intercepted. Now, it's really difficult to intercept ballistic trajectory missiles, especially fast ones. But Israel is one of the best in the world to do so. And we see time and time again, I have many videos like this. Of course, some missiles go through, but the interception rate is about 80 to 90%, which is really incredible. You see these little explosions up in the air. This is what I would give credit to, not the missiles that go through. I would give credit to the fact that majority is intercepted, which is crazy. Alright my friends, this video is going to be long enough as it is, and you are not ready. I mean, Russia-Ukrainian war, some crazy stuff. We have 2 different planes being shot. We have so much. So I'm going to Ukraine now. I'll keep you posted of what happens in Iran, Israel in the next video also. First of all, we begin with Russian Su-25s flying in pair over Donetsk skies, and we have this video, and I want to watch it. Like, this happened 2 days ago. I want to watch it very closely with you because we're not sure what happened. People claim that these Russian Su-25 fired unguided missiles and shot down his partner. I mean, when does this happen? How is this even possible? What are the odds that you shoot unguided missiles and shoot down your partner? But I mean, this is too rare of a coincidence. I cannot believe this was so. Let's watch it in slow motion. Fires his unguided missiles now, and if you watch, they don't hit the partner, I think. Very closely, of course, but they don't hit. But when the other Su-25 begins to turn, it disassembles. The wings break. So it looks like he shot him down, but I think he just disassembled when he was turning. And turned into a beautiful, magnificent fireball, which we can see in the next video. Here. Nice little barbecue for me. I would grill some sausages over this fire. Beautiful, my friends. This is big as it is. But it's not it. There's so much else that happened. This was Su-25 pair in Donetsk. Now we go to Mali. Yes, Africa, where Wagner is quite active, my friends, because a Russian Su-24 reportedly crashes in Mali during combat mission. A Russian Su-24M reportedly operating in the African core crashed near the Gao River while returning from a mission in support of Mali's armed forces. So here we can see Mali locals looking through the wreckage of the crashed plane, and some of the parts are on boats already. But this guy here, I mean, he doesn't look local, does he? He looks surprisingly like a Ukrainian, huh? Coincidence? I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. My friends, this video gets crazier and crazier. You thought this is it? No, but wait, there's more. Russian military convoy was struck by HIMARS. Oh my God, I love hearing this kind of title. I remember hearing it a lot in 22 and 23 when there were massive strikes with HIMARS to Russian men clustering together. But it happened again. So this is not a military convoy, this is a bus convoy filled with meat. You know, if you have 5 buses carrying kilograms of meat and you want to make them holy, this is what you're going to do. Holy in both ways, by the way, because they are very holy now. Russian military convoy was struck by HIMARS early this morning near Donetsk during personnel transportation. All vehicles involved have black military license plates, at least. Okay, I cannot read you the rest because it's YouTube, you know, but don't worry about it. You'll see it all. 1 bus, 2 bus, 3 bus, 4 bus. So many buses, my friends. So beautiful. The more the merrier, I would say about this. And there's, of course, one Ural truck as well. Okay, I cannot show you all of this, but there's plenty to look at, and you can see these tiny tungsten holes that these HIMARS cluster munitions do. They saturate the air, each missile carrying about 180,000 tungsten balls. I mean, it's a beautiful spread of democracy over there. It's wonderful. But wait, there's more, because I bring you GUR. Ukraine's GUR military intelligence is wiping out Russian air defenses in occupied Zaporizhia region, destroying. I'm not gonna read it to you. Let's watch the video. Let's just enjoy it. This was released 2 days ago, and by the way, here you can see a Russian air defense hitting or attempting to hit this very same drone that is going after it. Oh, it missed? How? This never happens. Well, it did. And this is a fixed-wing Ukrainian kamikaze drone. Why do I know this? Because, my friends, in this book we have a secret mission. I put it in here where we did fixed-wing kamikaze drone development for GUR with American scientists, Artur's army team in America. So this is it. That's the outcome of it. So if you really want to know what's happening in this video, go and get the book. It's all there, my friends. But yeah, it's a fixed-wing drone connecting to Pantsir S radar. I think this was Pantsir S radar system. Book. This was the Book air defense launcher, I think. Boom. And we have a third one, which is, let me tell you, if I see it, I cannot say which one this is, sorry. Crazy stuff, right? It is. But wait, there's more. There is, my friends. I cannot finish this video before I show you how a proud father of a Russian soldier who got unalived and is now pushing up sunflowers somewhere in Ukrainian field, he got compensated by the state. Putin sent him a gift. What is the gift? Well, my friends, it's something worthy of his long-lost son or freshly lost son. It's a microwave. You know, when your son was microwaved in Ukraine, you get a microwave from the state. It's only fair. And this guy right now is speaking, if you need anything, write to us. Your son was a hero. You raised a good man. Here is a microwave for you. I kid you not. They're seriously saying that here is a present. If you need something, let me do something for you. And they give him a microwave. Oh my God, my friends. I cannot. Russia basically writes itself. I don't have to try to make fun. It basically makes it. This is a real situation. He gets a microwave for his microwaved son and he's happy about it. Because he didn't have a microwave before. Something good came out of his son. Alright, my friends, this video was a mouthful in any sense. This was crazy. I don't think I'm gonna be able to top this. There's so much happened. If it was any other day, I would go into any one of these topics and analyze them, how it happened, what's the outcome. But this, I could just name these things to you. All links are in the description so you can check out the research. You can do the research yourself. Also, if you want to know how GUR is shooting these Russian air defenses, we have a secret drone for that. It's here. By the way, it's also on the... No, it's not on the... There's another drone here. Go and get it. Links in the description below. This book was made for you, so go and enjoy this experience, my friends. Until my next video, Slava Ukraini, and bye-bye. Call out one-sided narratives and think critically about the stories shaping our world. I can only promote brands I vet, so I think you will find Ground News as valuable as I do. Thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video.